Welcome to the Homeschool Together podcast. Where one working mom and a stay-at-home dad help you navigate the nuts and bolts of the growing and dynamic world of homeschooling.
With a focus on early learners, like me.
All the ins and outs of building and maintaining your homeschool life.
Homeschool.
Find out tips and tricks to make things like this easier.
I'm reading.
And ultimately, enjoy educating your kids. And what's that last thing?
Have fun together. Did I do good, Daddy?
Yeah, you did, sweetie. Good job. Hello, and welcome back to Homeschool Together. Thank you for joining us. If you have a chance and you want to help out the podcast, besides what we're going to be talking about today, head down to the show notes, and there's a link there to leave us a review on iTunes. We always love seeing those reviews come in. It really helps us brighten up our day and help other people find the podcast.
Yep, and if you're new to homeschooling, I've seen a number of folks join our Facebook group lately.
Welcome.
If you're new to this, we have a whole series of episodes. We have a bunch of getting started on homeschooling things, so just look in the back catalog. There's plenty of stuff there. And reach out on the Facebook group. Ask questions. Everyone's really helpful. And should you be looking for curriculum, we have a whole resource database on our website, homeschool-together.com, where we've got all kinds of secular resources for you. It's all secular, so you know that everything there is good and it's been reviewed. So you can take a look there, and anything that you order through the website helps out the podcast. So that's always nice as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. If you do that, we are in the middle, deep space. We're Carl Sagan, Voyager 2 type of deep space.
Yeah, we were studying constellations this week. It was really fun.
It was very fun. A summer of science, but we that's what we're doing now. What we just finished was our second trip around the world, 50,000 miles logged in a roundabout way. We have done the around the world journey twice. We have the resource guides. We have vlogged our experience in both paths. Both the first time, which was a combo between Build Your Library and Torchlight curriculum. This last one we dubbed, what was it? It was
we dubbed Trekking the Globe.
Trekking the Globe. It was a little bit more of a condensed version. So if you are sitting there trying to balance between, which one do I want to do? Do I want to do the 75 weeks of the combo? And if you have questions about that combo, you can email Ariel and she can help you out there. Make sure you have proof of purchase of those two curriculums, and we can give you a little plan for that. But if you are thinking about maybe, okay, that's a little too much, I want to do something a little bit slower, but not take as much time, enjoy yourself, go around and see a little bit fewer countries.
But some more in-depth time.
A little bit more in-depth time, yeah. That is what we just finished. So we have those two vlogs, and I'll go ahead and put both playlists in the show notes below. So if you're new to this or if you're interested in this, those are great resources for you, where we talked about all the books, all the activities, all of our experiences. A lot of hours there logged.
Yeah. There's a couple big differences besides just the number of countries we went to and the length. When we did it the first time, we had a first grader and a toddler. Yeah. And this time we actually did this with our 5-year-old and a 9-year-old. So we had some, elevated books for the older student and some writing exercises and things we did with her that were different. Additionally, Build Your Library has this big component about animal studies.
And the second time around was more focused on the Build Your Library idea there. We did use some books from Torchlight, but it was mainly Build Your Library.
Yeah, and we used a bunch of our own stuff too. We just kind of, it was very eclectic the second go around.
It was.
But one of the things is that Build Your Library, for their science component of this, around the world study, they do animal studies. That's kind of their thing. And there's animal poetry and some different stuff. And I just kind of felt like I just didn't get in depth enough, and it just felt kind of surface. Kids love animals, which is great. But so this time around, kind of one of the wrinkles we put on this, aside from bringing on our older learner, was we wanted to study the different biomes of the places that we were visiting. And one of the thoughts was that we would visit a country, we would study a biome that's represented in that country, and then, several weeks later, we might get back to that biome and we would continue to build on our understanding and really thinking about the whole biome, not just the animals, but the plants and the rest of the ecology there. And then and then studying animals through that too, but just kind of taking a more of an overview, which our kids loved.
Yeah, what's great about it, when you're doing the biomes, you can do typically one of two things. You can do common biomes. For example, like we'll talk a little bit about it, but like a boreal forests. If you do the boreal forests in like Canada, they're very similar to the ones in Russia and in Scandinavia. They have a lot of similar trees, a lot of similar animals, and there seems to be a kind of a continuity there all around.
Right.
In some places where you have, say, rainforests, if you are studying the Amazon and then you go study rainforests, say, in Papua New Guinea or in Indonesia or something like that, you can compare and contrast the differences there because the landforms are a little bit different. Some places are more geologically active, maybe with some volcanoes with, rainforests. Some are more up against the sea. Some are more isolated in the middle of a continent. You can do a little bit more compare and contrast there. So doing the biomes, it gives you an opportunity to see not only continuities across regions, but also compare and contrast differences as well, which I think is a nice little wrinkle as you're moving through all these various biomes. You don't have to constantly do the same thing. You can highlight the differences and then also the commonalities. Yeah,
it was great too. Instead of just learning about, for example, desert animals, we really learned about like the water cycle in the desert. And, so it was great. And every time we would get back to it, we felt like our kids had retained more. We would start, the first time we would cover, desert, they would have a surface level understanding and the basics, and then we would get deeper and deeper. And the book that we used as kind of our guide for our biome categories is called Beastly Biomes. It's a really cool kids book, not very long. The thing with biomes, and you'll find this is if you start researching different biomes, is that the scientific community is not all in agreement. There's some people, there's places that like have a very small set of biomes, and then other places have, there's like 50 biomes, and there's all these because there's microclimates and there's Mediterranean stuff. Anyway, there's a lot of ways to slice this pie. Yes. So we decided because we liked Beastly Biomes so much, we thought like this seems like a really good way to go. And it kind of breaks the biomes up into 5 major categories, and inside those there's a couple of subcategories. So for example, there's forest as an overall category, and then under it there's rainforests and temperate forests.
Yeah, and then
boreal forests or taiga.
Yeah.
So you have these kind of subs, but in this larger umbrella category. And that just seemed to make good sense to us. So that's how we broke it up. So if you're doing biomes, you might hear something that's different and be like, wait a second, where's that one represented? We had to make a choice. Yeah. So that was the choice we made. So as we went along through this study, we kept finding our own resources to study the biomes. And every time we would go back, we would, pick up a new book or do a new project, watch more videos. We're a big media heavy family.
We are. We tend to be.
Yeah, we love to watch YouTube videos about things, kind of short documentary style stuff. And that's not really represented in the literature curriculums very much. Obviously, they're lit curriculums. That's what they do. We love to read, but we also really love to watch. So what we did, just like we've done with our resource guides, we've been working for like a year. It's been a long time.
Slow burn.
We've been working on a biomes resource guide for everyone.
Yep.
This has been a major undertaking, and we know folks have been waiting impatiently for it. So we thank you for your patience. But it's massive. So as we said, we've got these 5 major biomes. We also have an overview of biomes in general. So you can kind of learn about what is a biome and kind of the overview. Each of the categories we have, we have these subs, but we also have a category overview section as well. So the way that this is meant to be used is just like our different continent resource guides, where we provide books and media and activities. It's kind of the same thing here. Well, I guess in that one we really provided games and food. In this one we're doing some projects and things. But so we're providing books. So this is going to be all kinds of books about the biome. You have curated just some absolutely wonderful YouTube videos. I don't know how many YouTube videos are in here, but it's
a lot.
I mean, so the whole thing together is almost 70 pages.
75 pages, yeah.
It's huge. And one of the things about YouTube is, as great as it is, there's a lot of garbage on there too.
It's the last time we did a guide was about a year and a half ago, I think. About a year and a half ago, we finished the final guide. And the big change in that time is the AI videos and the AI voices. And I really had to go through and make sure I didn't do a lot of those.
Yeah.
There were a few that were actually pretty good, but they were very sparse, like one or two here and there. Mostly I was trying to find like real videos, high quality videos made by high quality content producers, the National Geographics, the Smithsonian's, the BBC's, like all of those type of content producers I was really trying to focus on. There's a lot of people who do kind of their own little thing. Where that was really well done, I would allow it in. But for the most part, I'm really focusing on really high quality videography, cinematography, content, information. Sometimes the video might be 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes long. And in here, I have also documentaries that are 90 minutes long. So in the media, you get to really choose, what you want to do, how deep you want to go. What's great about a lot of the YouTube videos, especially in the longer videos, you have the ability, they set chapters where the content has changed, or like if it's going into some new piece of content or topic within the broader video, you can make quick jumps and be able to get to where you want to go. And I really like that. So it really helps when you're doing some of these longer videos to be like, oh, we've already learned about that and that. We haven't learned about that. And you're able to jump directly to what you want inside the YouTube video. And then watch that 5 or 6 minutes that pertains to what you're interested in. I really love that. So it's a lot of documentaries, a lot of videos.
So video is all going to be when we label it as video in here, it's short form.
It's short form, meaning like anywhere between 2 minutes, sometimes to about 20, 25 minutes, maybe a little bit shorter. But most of the things that are labeled videos are sub 10 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then documentary is going to be your longer form stuff, which might be better for an older learner. Yep. So we're really targeting this at elementary. That's the target audience for this.
And because we brought along our older student, I did try to think a little bit forward and say, okay, is there content that's not like meant for children, but maybe meant for a little bit more of an elevated student? So that is also in there as well, especially in the documentaries.
Well, we have curated, this content to make sure these are high quality videos. But just disclaimer warning, you all know your own kids, so please watch with discretion.
Especially Biomes when they get into like animals and survival and, the reality that nature is metal.
Right. Yeah.
And it can get really nasty.
Nature can get violent.
Yes.
So your own kiddos best. So make sure that, you watch with discretion. That's our little disclaimer. So we've got the books. We've got this incredible, I don't even know how many hours you've spent curating these videos, but it's, I don't know, probably over 100 hours. It's been a lot. Yep. So you've curated all these videos. We also have activities in the form of activity books.
And these videos are broken up by locations. So, just as an example, say like, you're studying kind of forests and you're going around the world and you're like various types of forests, maybe wetlands. And you're like, well, are there wetlands in India? Yes, the Sundarbans are there, right? It's a beautiful mangrove wetlands forest type of thing.
That's actually part of the aquatic biome.
Yeah, the aquatic biome. I tried to make sure that I found some of the biggest versions of those things in that continent. And then like we isolated which countries they were, where that place was. A lot of the times like, if you're looking for more like a grasslands in the Pampas in South America, that actually covers like a couple countries. It touches a couple countries. If you're looking at certain types of like rivers, the Mekong River that goes from China all the way down to Cambodia, Laos area, right? So it goes all the way through, touches half a dozen countries. So you have the freedom to choose and pick and choose like, we're still in Southeast Asia. We've done a lot of rainforest. Oh, that's great. Now let's go ahead and do a river, right? Now we can do a river and you can pick another biome. So I really tried to focus on some of the bigger stuff. Now there's a lot of countries that have a lot of like national parks. I did not hit every single national park.
Well, yeah, that would have been that's too hard.
That's just too big. And actually the funny thing is, believe it or not, there's not enough content for that. Like, there's not enough for every single park. So I really focused on like the really big things in that continent. Got to find the grasslands in Central Asia. Okay, there's like 2 or 3 places you probably want to focus on. Yes, there's more grasslands elsewhere, but this is probably your best. If you're gonna do lakes, yes, there's lakes everywhere. There's ponds everywhere. But are you going to focus on in Central Asia? What lakes are you going to focus on? Lake Baikal, the Caspian, right? That's an inland sea, but it's kind of like a large lake. The Aral Sea, right? That's a large kind of diminishing lake. But you're going to pick these really big lakes that are just well known, and then you can study them because a lot of times they touch multiple countries, and that gives you the freedom to choose the biome for the country. And it's big enough where there's enough content and there's books that go along with it. So that's kind of the organization of the media, is really focusing not necessarily on country by country, but the biome that is biggest in that continent, and then all the countries that it impacts or touches.
Right. So every biome's gonna have a series of books that are just for the biome. They're not really separated by country, but you're right. So all the media, we did it by continent. We broke out every table by continent, and then within that table we broke it down by these major things. And when we listed it, we listed what it was, like the Amazon rainforest and all the countries that it touches. So if you're going through and you're like, whatever country you're studying, you can go to that biome, down to that continent, and see if we've covered something that's in that country, which really makes it a lot easier. So you don't have to watch now we do have just general videos on rainforest biomes overall that isn't a specific place. And we did include that stuff, but we also have all this country specific stuff. So it should make it really easy for you to say, hey, we're going to be in this country. Let's see what biome applies.
Exactly, yeah.
Within that, we also have these activities. We have some activity books, which is going to be, there's lots of activity books that like give projects and stuff for different biomes. There's also coloring books and sticker books and some fun kind of books and games. And then you found a whole ton of projects to do, and this is like blog posts, YouTube.
Yeah, it could be a bunch of different. Like for example, like if you're trying to do something in the rainforest, I have things on how to make a rainforest terrarium, right? Your own little terrarium, or how to build little sloths using clothespins that kind of hang from your windows and stuff like that. So there's arts and crafts, there's science experiments, there's crafting things, there's going out for nature walks and doing things outside. So it's kind of an eclectic mix. So it gives you an opportunity to kind of pick and choose what works best for you, give you some really good ideas on activities that you might do, and then you can just say, well, let's do a similar thing for this other thing, and it'll give you a good idea there. So it's it's not totally comprehensive. You don't have to do all of them. It's just really helping you. Again, this whole guide, I think we've talked about this to each other, is really like it's short-circuiting the time it takes for you to find all that information.
Yeah.
How do I find all the books? How do I find all these media resources? How do I find, activities to do with my children? You spend all day looking for this stuff. And really that's what the resource guides are there for you to do. It's like, okay, you want to commit to do biomes. Great. Here's all these links. Doesn't mean you have to do everything here by no circumstance. It's really just like what works best for you. Pick and choose, right? Like, obviously you said, you know the sensibilities of your children. So some of these videos aren't going to be good for them. Some of them will. Maybe they're not animal kids. Maybe they're more of these type of kids, right? Whatever it is. Having all this stuff listed out for you saves you so much time. And when you're doing kind of like an eclectic biomes effort, these guides are there to shorten that time frame.
And even if you aren't going to do it around the world, if you just want to study biomes, this is enough for you to study that. So we've got those. We got the books. We have the activities. We talked about the media. The last part we wanted to add was some really terrific writing prompts. Yeah. So there's these journaling prompts, and there's probably 6 or more, 5, 6 every biome.
Yeah, I tried to do about four per biome, 4 per section. And again, these are not necessarily, you don't have to do all of them. You can do different ones, but they're there for you to like say, okay, I'm in a rush. Sweetie, do this writing activity, and you have the question there ready for you. They're there for, we kind of envision kind of a writing activity that you just kind of do with the biomes. It's not a big thing, maybe a little bit of a journal. I have at the end of the guide is a printed off sheet that you can continuously print off, which allows them to, get a little space to do that writing, and do some more information gathering on the biome that they're doing. What's the name of the biome, what animals are there, kind of a quasi book reporty type of thing, but not too much. It's not too heavy, but it's there for you to print off, to build your own little journal. Maybe you can do a biomes journal for your older student where they are writing and drawing and doing activities and collecting information and having to watch the videos and write, answers on the biomes in general. It gives you the ability to incorporate a little bit of writing activity within this, and also maybe elevating a little bit towards more of the scientific route where they have to go and find information and facts and knowledge about the biome and then go ahead and transpose that into their writing activity. So we've put that in there as well for you to kind of incorporate if you want to or if you don't.
And I think that some of those writing prompts would work great as well for a younger learner that's just going to draw the answer.
Yeah.
Like,
or just to set up a dialogue.
Or just to talk it through would
and
also
we've just gone
be good.
through all the writing and reading podcasts in the last few weeks. This is a great example of incorporating this into our curriculum just in a passive way, just to kind of layer in on top of what we're already doing.
You could scribe for a younger learner and then have them, draw something. I mean, it's got some options. So we wanted to give everybody lots of options. You've got lots of options for videos in all these different continents and countries, lots of books in case, your library doesn't have this one, you've got these other ones. So we're just all about options, and I don't know how many hours we spent so far, but we really hope that this is helpful for those folks who want to study biomes with their kids and just want a bit of a shortcut to find all of the good resources and things.
Well, and we know a lot of homeschooling parents always want to add in more science and add in more, more knowledge of the world around them. And this is a great biology, leaf in that tree with respect to like adding science into your curriculum and being able to do that in kind of a lighter, less heavy, less intensive way. Something that, we always talk about, it does feel sometimes that certain subjects are on the chopping block almost all the time. And if you try to do some type of science curriculum, you maybe run out of time to do that and it gets pushed and maybe it gets delayed or it's more ad hoc. You lose sight of where you were. There's no continuity. We understand that we're all homeschoolers. We know the problems there. That's one of the reasons why we're doing the Summer of Science is to make up for some of that gap. We're catching up. But, we felt like this was a low barrier to entry. It was something that felt very natural in the course of what we were already doing, especially when it comes to picking the biome related to the country. It's something you're probably going to get exposed to anyways in a lot of the literature selections. And why not just go ahead and just step right into that and add that into, it just seems very natural to add the biomes into when you're studying about the countries. A lot of these countries, you're up going to get books. Some countries are biome almost super heavy. Like if you're studying Brazil, what are you going to study? Like, 7 out of 10 books are going to be about the rainforest or the river, right? It's not that that's what that country is all about. You can get books about other things and, but when you do searches for books at the library, you tend to get a lot of those hits, right? Some countries are very biome intensive, which just means like, well, this is a great way for you to add science and add biology into the flow of your around the world journey without
understanding culture as well.
Yeah. And how that biome affects culture, affects food, affects the life of the people. This is a great way to do that. And I think this is a low barrier to entry. It was fairly easy for us to just constantly layer this into our existing around the world journey. And I think you'll find the same.
Yeah, so we did not specifically do books or, in general, books or videos about specific animals. So we didn't really do that piece of it.
That being said, there are a lot of animal videos.
There are videos that cover a lot of animals, but it's not like specific. We didn't do, for example, we didn't do a whole section on lions for the savannah. Now, we have thought about doing an animals of the world thing that could pair with this, like a resource guide there if you wanted specific videos about animals. If that's something that you all are clamoring for,
don't put that evil on me here.
Let us know if that's like something you really, really want, and maybe we'll work on that. But this is, covering it kind of more holistically. So it would maybe talk about a bunch of animals in the savannah, not just lions, for example.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, we tried a couple places we added animal books, but in general, our specific animal books. In general, it's like trying to cover all the species that live in that area. So
this is now available on our Gumroad page.
Right.
And just like all the other guides that are there, it's a pay what you want model. We have a suggested price there, but if you are homeschooling on a budget, we do not want to put barriers to that, and feel free to download it and grab a copy. tell a friend, and I hope you enjoy it. I mean, it was a labor of love again.
Yeah.
And we will move on to the next project, whatever that might be.
Yeah.
We have some ideas cooking.
Yeah, we do have a few ideas, but I mean, we're always up for suggestions. So maybe I need to put a poll out.
Yeah.
Maybe I should put like our top 5 ideas and be like, because we have a lot of things that we'd like to do.
And the people on the Facebook, another reason to join the Facebook group, they got it a little early there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, because people were asking for it, and I just felt like we gotta support.
So yeah,
support our
another
folks.
reason to join the Facebook group, and join it over there. Maybe get stuff early. I don't know.
Yeah. So we like putting together these resource guides because we're eclectic. I think a lot of you are probably eclectic out there, and you love to like bolt on and add things yourself. So having these resources at our fingertips, I hope that it's helped us. I hope it will help you. So check it out and let us know what you think. Thanks so much for joining us today and making us a part of your homeschool journey. Please engage with us on social media. Join our Homeschool Together podcast group on Facebook and find us at Homeschool Together Podcast on Instagram. We'd love to hear your feedback, questions, and recommendations. Until next time.
Happy homeschooling!